This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. Mr. Smith, James, and Sheri, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you sound great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. So we have with us via Zoom James Smith, the founder of Afterschool Enrichment Programs Solutions, Afterschool Enrichment Solutions, and we will be talking about Chess Scholars, the program Chess Scholars, and we also have with us Curricula. Let's see, the
Curriculum manager.
manager, yes, and teacher Sheri Warren.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Oh, thank you, because I don't know how it was that we ran across on social media about chess, something about Chess Scholars, and we were really intrigued and had to ask you to invite you to interview with us on WZRD.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. What in your background led you to found After School Enrichment Solutions?
Well, actually, the company has been around since 2001, and I acquired the company in 2018, so about 3 years ago. Both my parents were public school educators in the city of Chicago, and so education has always been important to me, even though I didn't find myself going down that path. But having said that, I always was involved with my local school council and, tutored children on the side and, a couple of areas in the South Side. And so it was something that was always interesting to me. So when I went on the, journey of buying a company, I was lucky enough to come across After School Enrichment Solutions and Chess Scholars. And it really spoke to me because I felt like I had an opportunity to really make a difference in the community.
Mm-hmm. But I know that you could make a difference. But what inspired you to found Chess Scholars?
No, the chess is, a very interesting game. It's been around for literally centuries, and the concept really gives people, but also kids, an opportunity to maybe put the technology to the side a little bit, and learn and think analytically, but also it helps social skills, right? Because you're sitting across your competitor. It's a game of honor. You have to learn how to win with dignity and lose with dignity. And more importantly, the kids just have fun with it, right? It's a game that they can play amongst each other, but you can also play with a parent or a grandparent, and it really never gets old.
Mm-hmm. When you mentioned learn with dignity and win with dignity, at what point does the student learn this? Because it's only an hour a week. That's not much, and in that hour, the child learns and then also applies what the child learned already within that hour. So how are you able to manage that? Either one of you, both of you could answer that.
Sure,
I think
sure. I'll start. I'll say a couple things and then I'll pass it on to Sheri. So we literally teach kids from the beginning, from an introductory standpoint. So the first class might really just consist, particularly with the younger kids, first and second grade, of just identifying the various pieces. What's the difference between a pawn and a rook and a knight, for example? And we obviously, we use that as a foundation, but after 6 to 8 weeks, the kids can actually competently play against each other as we teach them the moves. And I guess the real key thing that I think makes a difference is we have a belt system in place. And so the belt system is progressive, where as they learn, they get a chance to achieve a higher belt level. So obviously, after the first week, if you can identify the chess pieces, you might earn a white belt. In the next session, as you learn the different moves and the different opportunities for various pieces, you can sort of learn and progress to the next level. Sheri, maybe you can say a little bit more, because Sheri is actually one of our not only curriculum specialists, but also a former instructor and also teaches in classes now as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, within that 1 hour that you can do, what we really hope to be doing is lighting a fire that will make them want to pursue opportunities to play outside of class time. Now, in our in-person classes, we're hopeful that the kids will go home and they'll want to play with their parents. They'll want to play with their siblings and maybe even be able to teach some people in their family who don't know. But in our virtual classes, we do give the students the opportunity to play even a few times a week outside of class time. We hold regular chess game kind of open play sessions online that any chess scholar students can jump into at any time to continue practicing their skills and to have people to play with. If there isn't anybody at home who'll get out the board and play with them, they have an opportunity to get to play against other chess scholar students across the country a few times a week.
So when the parents pay for the program, they automatically get a chessboard as well, the student, right? Because then they could use that chessboard to play with, let's say, parents, grandparents, and friends.
There are, well, and it's different in different settings. Obviously, with the virtual programs, we're teaching the students to use the online chess tools, and we have been kind of sort of developing a way for kids to play online. That has been a big focus of it later. But actually our instructor comes to class with a big roll of vinyl chess boards and is able to put out all the chess pieces for the students to be able to play with right there, and to be able to use that same chess equipment at several different classes throughout the week.
The belt system. So do the kids actually win a belt and get to wear the belt and show it to their friends that I want a belt in chess. I know chess.
It's a instead of a physical belt like you would get for martial arts that you would wear, it's a wristband. But a lot of the kids really do. It's a different colored wristband for different belt levels. But a lot of kids really do cherish those, and you'll see them with a whole arm full of wristbands to be able to show their progress.
Awesome. James, what age of student did you initiate the chess scholars and why?
So we typically offer our programs from kindergarten through 8th grade. The vast majority of our kids are probably sort of in the 1st to 4th grade level. But again, you know, elementary schools is primarily our focus.
When you started it, did you pattern it off from some other chess program for students, or did you just start it from scratch? The chess scholars.
So, yeah, I would say it's been an ongoing process, right? You know, we are fortunate to have had 20 years, actually it's our 20-year anniversary this year, 20 years of experience teaching kids, right? And so you, just like anything else, the more you do it, the more you refine it. So we have certain sort of milestones and a certain way of delivering the instruction, and we've been able to refine it, which is one of the things that just makes me most excited, because we've done literally thousands of classes over the years. I can look any administrator, any parent in the eye and say, if you trust us with your kids over the next 6 to 8 weeks, we will teach them the game of chess. And often what happens is kids will come back for repeat sessions. So we have children in certain schools that have been with us 4 and 5 years. And we're fortunate to also have a network of instructors that are very skilled in the game of chess. And so, you know, in addition to sort of teaching them the rudimentary, I can't say the word, but instead of teaching them the basic stages of chess, they can also teach them the more advanced steps, because we actually have some very competitive chess players that are highly rated in our network of chess instructors.
So you said 20 years. Do you mean 20 years that you've been teaching students, or has this program been in place for 20 years already?
Yes,
Chess
so
Scholars.
our company, Chess Scholars, founded in 2001. And so we started with 1 or 2 schools up on the North Shore, and we have grown our instruction capability to over 900 schools. Just before the pandemic, we were up to over 900 schools across the country. Now, the vast majority of those, or there's probably half of those or so, were probably within a 50-mile radius of Chicago. But we branched out to California and Florida and Texas, et cetera. So I'm really just lucky, you know, so I own the company, but I have great, you know, instructors like Sheri that are really running the day-to-day business. I'm very proud of the team that we have and the network of instructors, more importantly, that we have across the country.
Well, so yes, go ahead, Sheri.
I was going to say things have really, in that 20 years, things have really grown and changed in that time. You know, for the first 10 years, 15 years, really just focused on chess was the only thing. But then after about, you know, in about 2010, we started expanding to offer drama classes and Spanish classes in with that. And then a couple of years later, that was going so well, we decided to add engineering and we added coding. And since then, we also have added guitar and art and sports and our new STEAM program that we are just launching this fall. So it all began with chess. Chess was and still is our bread and butter. But we've also added all of these other wonderful ways to engage kids in all of these other subjects of interest as well. So that's why you know we are chess scholars. That is the beating heart of our company. But we're also after school enrichment solutions, which brings a much wider picture of everything in.
Well, so the jumping off points for the other programs, did those programs derive from chess because the kids are so involved in chess that they think in a better way, more efficiently, so that they could branch off into the other programs? Or was it just adding programs that you know are useful for the kids?
Yeah, I think they're definitely complementary to one another. And so, you know, we mentioned that we typically teach a class once a week, right? And so now the kid might love chess a lot and they do it every Monday, and then they want to come back on Tuesday and experience something else in an after school setting. And so we're often able to, that's one of the things I think is special about our company. We can go to a school with more than just one offering. We can offer them chess on Monday or a coding class on Tuesday. And again, it's all about providing supplemental education to the kids to expand their minds, right? And so the analytical skills that they're able to get from a chess scholar program, we think that helps their brain function for maybe a Spanish class that we might offer on another day. So again, the complementary things. And also, I think this is important as well. Our motto is learning means fun, right? So we're teaching them these really interesting and cool concepts, but more importantly, they're having fun doing it, right? So, you know, these kids they've already had a full school day. They want to relax a little bit, right? So they get to see a different mix of kids from their school. In many cases, they're friends, but they want to learn something that we think is productive, value added, but also has fun. But we also realize that we're able to help kids out, help parents out. There's some parents that maybe can't get to the school to pick the kid up at 2:30. Our extended program offerings, you know, provide, you know, a service to the parents as well.
So the pandemic really didn't affect your program too much because the kids were able to play chess virtually, right?
We pivoted.
No, so it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, James.
No, go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, we were definitely. I'm very proud again of our staff to, you know, the fact that we were able to, for most of our programs, we were able to create a virtual solution. And I think what's really exciting now is we feel like schools are starting to reopen and park districts as well, because we do a lot of summer programming. We'll be able to offer both. So for example, we actually do chess tournaments on the weekends, right? And we do an escape room on a lot of Friday nights. And so those have been really, there's been a lot of demand for those programs virtually, where kids can maybe do in-person chess at a park district setting during the week, and then participate in a virtual chess tournament where they're competing against kids from all around the country in a chess tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, anybody at any time. What's great is we do have these partnerships with schools and park districts that we value very highly. But also we can reach out to students directly too on our website, which is afterschool.enrichmentsolutions.com. You're able to go and just register for some of these chess tournaments and register for these escape rooms or register for a virtual art class. Our virtual options are really open to anybody, whether or not a school near you is affiliated and partnering with us. We're really able to reach out to any students who want to be involved with direct enrollment through our website as well.
What do kids do in an escape room?
That has been a really fun addition lately. What we do is in the escape room, the students are joined by a live actor who kind of presents a puzzle and a problem, saying, you know, we are stuck in its cabin in the woods, and there are zombies that are looking in the windows and pounding on the door. And we need to look around this room and find the clues that will help us to escape. And as the hour goes on, the actor is slowly turning into a zombie with the use of special virtual effects to kind of highlight a little bit that the students really need to solve these puzzles and to get out. That's an example of one for our older students, 4th to 8th graders. But we also have some for kindergarten to 3rd graders that might be based on a pirate adventure, or being in a rocket in space and trying to find your way to get back down to Earth. And so it's just this, you know, with the virtual programs, really, and you can go anywhere. And so it's been really fun to get to engage the kids in these problem solving kind of adventures.
Even I was in some escape games when I went to conferences for school in college. However, did the escape room derive from chess? Because chess is strategy and escape room is strategy. Or was it just escape room is very popular now, and then you started using that, offering that to the kids?
I think it's just another path to that same goal, you know, of problem solving, also bringing in cooperation and communication and working as a team. And so it's just different ways to get to this same goal that we have, to be able to enrich the students and give them some tools for the future in a way that is as fun as possible. Because if it is fun, they will keep on coming back.
I'd just like to pick your brain a little bit. When I know that you're a curricula specialist, well, first for chess as well. So how did the chess program change? Like, in what ways did it significantly change over the past 20 years?
A big change happened just a few years ago, in that, you know, someone who was part of our company early on, a Russian immigrant who's a chess master, had originally developed our curriculum and had taken all of his knowledge and put it into like a good 400-page volume and tome that the instructors could take and could draw lessons out of that for the students. And what we have wanted to do, the big change that we have made, is we have taken all of that wisdom and knowledge and kind of crystallized it into, we have some lessons that are specifically for beginners, some that are specifically for intermediate, some that are for advanced, so that an instructor has got more specific tools that they can use. You know, we are always looking for more instructors, more people who are passionate about chess and who want the ability to teach it, but who might not have time to sift through a 400-page volume. And so we're able to put a lesson into their hands that they can scan in 10 minutes and then be able to deliver an hour of programming to the students with ease. That has been our goal, and the way that our curriculum approach has changed in the last few years.
That's fascinating, Sheri. That's like a treasure trove of chess knowledge for you. So I'm assuming that you read all 400 pages. What is what is your most important takeaway there? What is the most important revelation that you got from that the book, would you say?
I think putting yourself into the shoes of your opponent, I think, is the most valuable thing that you can do at any level of chess. Always trying to consider things from their perspective and try to guess their next move. You always have to consider what the other person is going to do.
Sheri, you're kind of buffering right now. So we'll wait for a little bit and then hope you come back. Meanwhile, James, how does chess scholars address diversity, inclusivity, and disability in hiring staff and in enrolling students?
Yes, it's very important to us from a hiring standpoint. You know, I mentioned I purchased a company back in 2018. I can tell you that 3 out of my first 5 hires were either women and or minority in multiple different ethnic groups. And that's something that was very important to me. I came from an industry that didn't have a lot of diversity, but I was also lucky enough to work at a company that's right here in Chicago called Ariel, which prides itself on having a diverse staff, but also doing some really unique things in the community. And so I was really lucky to come across John Rogers at Ariel, along with Melody Hobson, who've just done a wonderful job on a national level in terms of promoting diversity. So that ideology I really wanted to bring into my company. And so our staff is very much diverse. Our leadership team, if you will, obviously you have Sheri on the line, who is the curriculum leader. Our operations manager happens to be a woman, and our chief marketing officer is also a female. So really proud of the fact that we're able to sort of expand, sort of our staff, but also our broader instructors are very diverse. And so many of our instructors are retired teachers and military, graduate students, et cetera. And we really try to look at, number one, who's going to be a safe option in the classroom for kids, and also who can motivate them and inspire them. And so just coming from the standpoint of broadening how we look, we also want to match our school base. So our students, our schools are very, very diverse. As I mentioned, we're in a lot of different states, but we're also in public schools. We are in faith-based schools. We are in various park districts. And so we literally look like America, both internally as well as the client base that we serve. And we're very proud of that.
Are you a 501c3 or are you a for-profit? Afterschool enrichment.
We are a for-profit entity.
Mm. Sheri, did you want to add anything else when you were saying, when you were talking about placing oneself in the opponent's shoes, etc., because you did get cut off from buffering?
I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
Yes, that's, obviously the most important ability to have as a chess player is to be able to predict your opponent's move. So from a practical perspective, if you want to win the game, you have to be able to say, all right, well, if I do this, my opponent is going to do this. But taking that skill and broadening it, not only for interpersonal relations, to be able to consider other people, what they might want, what they might be motivated by, and to be able to communicate, to have empathy, and to be a good listener. All of these skills are interconnected, I believe, and chess is a great way to get a child thinking with that mindset from the very beginning.
So it seems as if you're saying that a child learns how to work with a competitor and a collaborator at the same time.
Yes. Yep.
How did the two of you individually discover the first time that you discovered the value of chess, if you still remember? We'd love for you to share that with us.
I had an older cousin who I think my mother, they were watching me, right? My mother had something to do. So I went to spend the night with them. And my older cousin, who I had a lot of respect for, I looked up to him. He taught me how to play chess. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. And what I remember him saying was, the queen is the most powerful thing. You need to protect your queen. And you use the queen to strategically score a lot of points. Again, I was probably, 7 or 8 years old. But that's what I remember, whether it was right or wrong.
And Sheri?
I came in to work with the company as a drama teacher who did not know how to play chess, resistant to learning chess. One of those people who's like, okay, if I can't get good at something instantly, I'm not interested. That's kind of the approach that I had at first. But in this role, I have needed to learn. And so as somebody who is still learning, I have really benefited from this idea that, no, I'm not going to be great at this immediately. I'm not going to be an expert at this immediately, but I'm going to keep on trying. And with chess, it's something really anybody can learn, and anybody can become good at it. You don't have to have a particular talent or skill. What you need to do is put in the work and put in the time of playing and practicing. And so that has been a valuable lesson for me to learn, the persistence of really wanting to master it and to learn how to play.
So for chess, it seems as if there's always something to learn. What about in that 400-page book from the chess master? Did he mention at all that there is still something for him to learn?
I don't know if he mentioned anything, but we are lucky enough to be around quite a few chess gurus. So
Mhm.
John Suits, for example, is one of our longest running employees. He's a 1900 rated player, which is very, very high. It puts him in the top 1% of all players in the world. John probably plays chess on a daily basis, right? To practice and work on his skills. So to answer your question, the people who love chess are always trying to get better. You can never truly master the game. There's always something you can do a better job of. There's different scenarios. There's all different types of strategies. And so I think that's one of the things that keeps people engaged. They love it, and they know there's always something out there on the horizon that can make them better. Which is really kind of a metaphor for life, right? Like we should always try to get better at everything we do. And that's, again, going back to why we're doing this. We don't teach kids chess so they can become the next chess master. We teach chess because we think it's a way to build life skills.
Mhm. Yes. Let's just clarify. When you acquired after-school enrichment solutions, was the chess scholars already in the program, or did you bring chess scholars to the program?
Yes, it was already in the program.
I
The
see.
company was founded on the idea of chess. Yes, chess
Really?
it was the very first program back in 2001.
Oh,
Mhm,
okay. Thank you.
mhm.
So Sheri, what in your background led you to work for in the chess scholars program? You started as a drama teacher and just kind of shifted over. What happened?
Well, I have a degree in early childhood education, but I could tell even from my student teaching experiences that regular full-time classroom teaching was not going to be for me, which is kind of a depressing thing to feel when you're getting ready to get your diploma. And I wasn't sure where things would lead. But what I have always sought out over my last 25 years as an educator, I've always sought out these opportunities to work with kids in the realm of fun. After school programs and Saturday morning workshops and things that kids come to because they want to, not because they have to, but because they want to. Like that has always been where I want to be. And so I began as a drama teacher because as a regular performer myself, that has been something that I'm just drawn to. It's my passion and I have a lot of knowledge already there. However, they approached me pretty quickly and said, would you like to start teaching engineering? I thought, well, I'm not an engineer. I'm not sure about that. And they said, no, 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 we're going to give you lesson plans. We're going to give you tools. We're going to give you everything you need to take this teaching ability that comes natural to you and to give you all of the scientific knowledge you need, everything that you need in order to deliver content to these students and to help them to learn something. And so I was kind of, lit on fire by that and the opportunity to continue to learn new things as I taught it. You look at coding, I would never have considered that I'd be a person who knows how to code. But within a month of teaching the coding classes and working a little bit on that year, I made a video game for my family for Christmas where each of my family members was a character and I programmed that game. And it's because I'd been teaching students to do it. I was learning it myself. And now that I am on staff and I'm the curriculum manager, I can take all of those things that I have learned and I can put myself in the shoes of an instructor who maybe has never taught this before and give them everything they need to be able to have a wonderful time with the students.
There seems to be a lot of role playing here, as in chess. When you started with drama and now you're putting yourself in the new teacher's shoes, etc., in developing the curricula.
That's right. Yep.
At what point in the Chess Scholars program do you need to tweak its content? Well, at what point do you feel there's a necessity for tweaking?
It's really important to us to meet needs of diverse learners, and often as an educator, you go in with one plan and you see that it's not working with this particular student or with this group of students. And so you need to adjust and adapt. You need to find ways to get through to those students. And experience lets you do that. What's nice about this experience, rather than just having one group of 25 kids that I work with for 9 months, I work with several groups of 15 to 20 students throughout the week. And so in getting to know those kids, you develop different approaches, you try different things, you tell different stories, you present it in different language, you just find a way to connect with those students. And we pride ourselves on our ability to work with a really diverse group with broad experiences, to be able to adjust our approach a little bit.
Well, you segue yourself into my next question, which was how do you address diversity, inclusivity, and disability in your chess program? But let's say if you do have some disabled students, do you have disabled students in your chess scholars program?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Both in our virtual setting, students who sign up directly through our website at afterschoolenrichmentsolutions.com. We have students who through there directly, and you're working with students just virtually through the screen, and helping them stay engaged and stay focused. As well as in the hundreds of schools that we work with. Of course, we're working with students who have disabilities throughout that context as well.
When I'm not DJing, we also work with some groups with that help autistic students. Would chess be a good choice to help with students with autism?
Absolutely.
Well,
yes. Yes. In fact, that is there have been many people with autism who have gone on to become extraordinary chess players, very highly rated, competitive nationally chess players, because it's something that really can appeal to everyone. Chess has a way of kind of working its way through to you, and to continue working on it. Yeah, I would say absolutely. People with autism are a great match for chess.
Yeah, it seems that chess is adaptable to any kind of student then, to become a better student. What is the future for chess scholars?
Well, we're really excited about what feels like schools starting to reopen. And now that schools have reopened, I think what's great is we've proven that we can deliver in-person programs, right? We've done that for 20 years, but also in the last year, we've proven that we can deliver virtual programs also. So I think now it's almost like we've transformed our company where we can offer even more to our constituents. So I think I'm anticipating and hoping that we're able to bring what we think is a really great product to more and more students. And so, again, Sheri and many others are really responsible for the day-to-day and out sort of, having conversations with schools, et cetera. But I'm really excited to sort of just watch how that all plays out, because ultimately, we love what we're able to provide for the community, and we think we can just do more of it.
I know that you have a lot of other programs, but what is your most popular program? Is it still chess, or has something other of the other programs?
Yes, it's still chess. Chess represents about half of our business, and we have in addition to chess, about 8 other programs.
Right.
Chess is number one.
Well, even though Afterschool Enrichment Solutions is a for-profit organization, it seems that you do so much for the community. And at WZRD, we like to probe the brain of our community partners, because we do quarterly issues in which we try to find topics for our DJs to add non-entertainment programming, which is required for the FCC. So 3 questions that we love to ask our community partners is, first of all, what is most important to you? If the 2 of you will answer that separately, we really appreciate it.
The most important thing to me is helping children find their passion and to move forward with it and apply it to broader areas of their life. It's hard to crystallize what's most important to me, but I really think that's what drives me in every part of my life is helping kids find their passion.
Thank you, Sheri. And James?
And I would agree with what Sheri said wholeheartedly, but then I would add, I would say, I really look forward. What's important to me is that we get the feedback we need from the schools and parents to make us better.
Okay, awesome. Okay, what is the long-term problem that needs to be resolved? The most important long-term problem that needs to be resolved?
There needs to be more funding to support our programs on behalf of the children. It's all the kids that we serve enjoy chess. The reality is they need resources to do it, right? They need, and the resources aren't necessarily just what we pay our instructors, right? But also just facilities, right? They need a place, and we don't need much. We need a room, a room with 12 plates, a room with tables and 12 seats is really all we need. But by and large, we find that some of our schools can't continue our programming because the grant money might run out, for example, right? So we've had some really successful programs, and then they'll call us up after 3 years and say, we don't have the funding, which is really a shame because you have these kids that are second, third, fourth graders who love our programs, that are getting a lot out of it, whose parents cannot afford it. And as a result, they miss out on this huge opportunity. So I really think chess is one of those things that should be available to all kids. In fact, there are a couple states that are actually putting it in there as part of their core curriculum. And it sort of saddens me when I see the wealthier areas that are and their kids are benefiting from it, and not enough of sort of other kids that don't have the same resources, aren't able to have the same benefits. So that saddens me.
Sheri?
I think a problem that needs to be resolved has to do with the load that is on educators right now. My best friends are full-time educators. I've got three close family members who are full-time educators, and I see them putting in 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week between what they do for the students at the school day and what they do at home. And what I'm continually saying to them is that they need more resources. That educators need more resources. And it is my hope that we can be a part of that problem to some degree, that we are able to lift some of that load for instructors and be able to provide those after school services and supplemental services, and running a drama class, running an art class, so that is maybe taken off the load of an educator who's been asked to cover those things when they're already covering so much. Teachers are asked to do so much, and it's my hope that we would be able to lighten some of that load.
What problem needs to be resolved now?
Schools need to, well, number one problem needs to be resolved now is the challenges related to the pandemic. Whatever it's going to take for us to get number one, safe, right? So safety is first and foremost. We're well aware of that, and we will continue to follow the protocols that are necessary. But also, I think even once we establish safety, getting people mentally comfortable with being back in school, having the kids in the classroom, et cetera, I think that is critical. And obviously that's a critical thing that's above and beyond just what we do, but we're certainly part of that because, kids have lost a year of normal education, right? We've done the best we could in terms of virtual programming, but I think there's no substitute ultimately from that for in-person learning.
Sheri?
I agree with James too. I think it's great that we have a lot of reason to be optimistic right now about what the next school year is going to look like, and to be able to make that transition into things being more like they used to be, and all of the issues related to that as well, helping everybody to feel comfortable in order to be able to offer those in-person programs. That's our hope.
Thank you for that. In case our listeners are really intrigued now about after-school enrichment solutions and the Chess Scholars program, how affordable is it to parents?
I think it's very affordable, and it depends. There's different pricing models based on what you know, what you're looking at. There are some schools that we work with that subsidize the program entirely so that it costs nothing to the students. There are some schools running it on grants. There are some schools who have prioritized this and have said that this is important to our students. We're gonna cover the cost of this. There are other schools that invite us to partner with them, and but it is a parent paid kind of situation where the parents are paying, as well as with our virtual classes, the parents are paying as well. But I feel that we are very competitive for as far as the price goes for the quality of what we offer.
And James, is it how difficult is it for the less well off to access the benefits of your program?
You know, it's definitely more challenging, but you know, there are many administrators that see the value in what we do. And so they're actively looking for grant funding. And we actually have someone on our staff, Renee Heisey, who I think you might be speaking with in a month or
Yes.
so, who is really skilled at helping schools find grant funding to support our programs. Because the money is out there. You just need some type of an advocate to sort of go after it. And again, I stand by the 20 years of instruction that we've had with chess students in terms of helping kids learn the game and providing value to families. And so the resources are out there that you just might need some hand holding to help.
Mm. This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. So James and Sheri, let's sign off with a story from each of you about how chess scholars changed the life of a student that you worked with.
I'll let Sheri go first.
All right. Well, you know, because drama is my passion and because I've been teaching that the longest, what I think about is a student who on the very first day of class was completely shy, was completely closed off, was kind of doing the class because her parents wanted her to do it. And she was very, very shy. They were hoping to be able to get her over some of her shyness. And through that 8-week process of being able to play games and have fun and get to know the other students, she was able to be a full participant in our performance that we did for the parents at the end of the session. She got up, she did her lines really proudly. Just seeing her react to the applause after her scene went on, and to know she came and enrolled in a future session, and she was a changed child. She came in with enthusiasm and excitement, and being able to see how much that meant to her, having a safe environment to pursue these skills and to have fun was such an important thing for her. That's something that I remember. But I know that there are a lot of stories that we don't even get to see of students where we've planted the seed and then it gets to blossom into something in the future.
Was the student that you mentioned also one of the chess scholars students as well?
I think that it was an after school enrichment solutions class. So, you know, after school enrichment solutions is the big umbrella, and chess scholars is under that too, but so
Right.
is drama. So
Yes.
yeah, she was part of our programs overall.
Awesome.
I don't believe that she was a chess player in that particular case.
Thank you. James?
For me, it's more of a general statement around many of the testimonials that we've received. I have in my office a few handwritten cards or letters from kids, you know, second, third, fourth graders, thanking chess scholars and their staff for just providing a fun experience for them. I have a collection of emails from parents, particularly during the pandemic, where they were really happy that we were able to provide something virtually that provided joy for their kids during a very stressful period of time. And so collectively, you know, I would say that, you know, we have a lot of happy customers out there in the stratosphere. And so that's what I would give you as my answer. And I'm hoping that we can create a lot more going forward.
I want to throw just one more story in there. At one of our chess tournaments several years ago, it was a kindergartner who won the first place trophy, and they were playing against all grade levels, even up to 8th grade. They were playing against 8th graders, and this kindergarten student walked away with that first place trophy. So important to remember, chess is an equalizer. Age is not a factor in these things. So it's always fun to think about that story as well.
well, yeah, kindergarten, when he or she grows up, he or she might become an alumni and become involved in Chess Scholars.
Perhaps we would love to see that.
Well, thank you so much. Is there any other information such as maybe events coming up or anything about your programs and news that you want to add before we end the interview?
Mhm. Well,
Yes, absolutely. I can speak to. We've got some park districts who are offering programs and summer camps this summer. Some of the park districts we're working with are Arlington Heights, Bartlett, Batavia, Burr Ridge, Crystal Lake, Lockport, Lombard, Oak Park, Oak Brook Terrace, Oswego Land, Vernon Hills. I could go on. There's so many park districts that are offering programs that we're going to do this summer.
we're
What
also at
about
the
what about Chicago Park District?
So as of right now, we are not in Chicago Park District. We were slated to begin at last summer, but the pandemic unfortunately canceled those plans. So we're still involved with those conversations, and we're hoping to sort of get something going again with the Chicago Park District. In the meantime, we are doing some work in Chicago. University of Chicago Laboratory School has a summer program where I know chess will be offered for a couple. We have a 2-week camp, so you might want to look at that. And obviously, you can always reach out to us on our website, which is shown there behind Sheri at www.afterschoolenrichmentsolutions.com, and make any inquiries, and we can find a way to work with you. We also do one-off private tutoring. So there's a lot of ways we can help.
We are doing, just to kind of plug a little bit, we've got virtual summer programs that are all beginning next week. There's a 5-week program or a 10-week program. You can find all that information on our website. There's also a virtual chess tournament coming up on Saturday, June 5th, that kids are able to enroll in. And of course, we also have an escape room coming up this Friday night. We're doing an escape room for 4th to 8th graders. And this is, anybody can participate in this. And all of that information is available at that afterschoolenrichmentsolutions.com website.
For the programs that start next week, our students still able to enroll now?
Oh, absolutely. There's room in all of our programs, and we would love to serve as many kids as possible.
And for the chess tournament in June, could non-students zoom in and watch, just to at least have an idea about what's happening? Is there any live events so that outsiders could just observe and then and decide for themselves? Maybe this is right for us. For me.
There isn't something set up as that. There's not an audience per se. However, anybody who might be interested but has questions or would like the chance to just sit in on a class or on a tournament or something, they should absolutely reach out to us using that contact us portion of our website. Send us a message and we would be happy to talk to them, answer questions, and see if we can get them involved in an observational kind of way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, James Smith, President of Afterschool Enrichment Solutions, which includes the majority of which includes the Chess Scholars Program, and Sheri Warren, Curricula Specialist and Teacher at Afterschool Enrichment Solutions. Thank you so much for joining us today at WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM.